VoxWave now features a streaming radio media player on our website's front page, where local artists can get their music played 24/7. For more information on getting your music in rotation or to perform live at our studio, contact Reg Gaskins at 240-832-4455.
Android users, the VoxWave app is now available in the Google Play Store. Download the app today on your Android device to listen in and view programs.
Business owners looking for a place to advertise your business and promote your products and services? VoxWave is the right place. We have over 10,000 views a day and 70,000 listeners a month. For more information, contact Reg Gaskins at 240-832-4455.
Enhance your listening experience. VoxWave.com.
Check out all your favorite shows at VoxWave.com. On Mondays, we keep it moving with the Kim Show from 11 to 1 p.m. Then it's time for a change with Sherry and Mignon, 6:30 p.m. to 8 p.m. And then in the end we win with Curtis, 8:15 p.m. to 9:15 p.m. On Tuesdays, 12 p.m. to 1 p.m. Start your afternoon with the Wealth Zone with Raymond Starks. Then it's Cooking with Flavors with Chef Flavors, 5:30 to 6:30 p.m. And treat yourself right with My Spa Bath and Body, hosted by Margaret Harris, 7 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. Up next is Slick Daddy Rick, Heartbeat Congo Hour, rocking from 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. Then on Wednesdays, you can't miss Impact the World with Cheryl Woods, 12 noon to 2 p.m. And then from 6:30 to 7:30 p.m., we got Slick Talk with Oscar D and It's the Kid. Then from 8 to 9 p.m., we crank it up with Live Set Wednesdays, hosted by Reg Gaskins. And after that, 9:15 to 10:15 p.m., the BGKH Show with Dominion and Epic. And check out our Thursday lineup, starting with You, Math, and Me, hosted by George Randall from 10 to 10:30 a.m. Then from 7 to 9 p.m., the 640 Evening Show with DJ 640. And on Fridays, we start out with Peace in the Morning Show with Darius A. Stan, co-host Delicate Daryl Barnes, and Queen of Sudabed, 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. From 10:30 to 11:30, the Hall Street Journal with Robert Hall and co-host Clarence Sanders. And after that, you know we gotta check in with Chanel's 3 Cents, 1:30 p.m. to 2:30 p.m. Up next, from 3 to 4:30 p.m., Daryl Allen Hairston II Crime Victims Foundation Show with your host, Daryl Hairston. Then, from 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. is The Rush Hour with DJ Drew and Janique. And from 9:15 to 11:15 p.m., you can't miss Different Mind Show with Bam 640 and DJ Andre Michael, co-host Hillary Banks. Then start out your Saturday mornings with the Healer Blues Show, hosted by Ron Jackson. After that, 9:30 to 10:30 a.m., the Hour of Power with Reverend Winters Rogers. Then, from 11 a.m. to 12 noon, it's time for prayer, praise, and deliverance with Elder Thurman Gorman Jr. Four Sisters Live Talk, 12:30 to 2:30 p.m. Then every second Saturday, listen to Turning Dreams into Reality Talk Show with Tashika L. Green, 3 p.m. to 4 p.m. After that, from 3 to 4 p.m., we walk in newness 24/7 with Missionary Antoinette. And don't miss, from 4:30 to 6:30 p.m., news, ULM News and Analysis, information, sports, Black history, with your host, news anchor Roderick Carter Rivers, 4:30 p.m. to 6:30 p.m. Then, from 6:30 to 7:30 p.m., it's time for DJ Rick, the CEO of Step Your Game Up, the Youth Project, co-hosted by DJ Main and DJ Low Hefe. And then, at 7:45 to 8:45 p.m., it's time for the Fantastic Live Show with MC Fran. And starting out on Sundays, from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m., I am Dr. Sharon Show with Dr. Sharon. And every first Sunday, from 3 to 4 p.m., it's the Riri Williams Show, Fashion and Style Hour. And every third Sunday, check out the Tea Talk Show with Dr. Akita Pearson, 3 p.m. to 4 p.m. Then it's time for Real Talk 101, 6 to 8 p.m. And from 8:15 to 9:15 p.m., we're tuned into the Gospel Live TV show with Glory Mello. Stay tuned to Vox Wave, where you can find all your favorite shows.
The world's #1 streaming music station, VoxWave.com.
Happy Sunday, everyone. Happy Mother's Day. And also, congratulations. First, I want to say to all the graduates that graduated yesterday and those who walked today. My name is Pam Price. I'm the host here of Unheard Voices. We meet here at Vox Wave every second Sunday. And what we talk about is, it's about the community, what's happening with our family, what's going on. And I truly appreciate the second platform that God has given to me. Please join the conversation. You can dial in by joining the conversation at 240-719-2560. And continue to watch online at www.voxwave.com. Today I have a mom and a daughter. We wanted to tag team, and I love these ladies. I have Miss Naz Milan, but it's Dupuy, right?
Dupuy.
Yep. Oh, Dupuy. That's actually pretty nice. That's very, very pretty. And then I have her mom, Miss Tina Dupuy.
Yes.
Okay, welcome. I appreciate you.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you. So I'm really excited about having you two ladies on. My daughter, unfortunately, is driving back, so she couldn't join us, but I think she's going to dial in and join us sometime today. Yay! So first I want to talk a little bit about the two of you, you know, because I know you both are very involved in health and wellness and just creating a good center for women, and because that's important. Now, Tina, I know you have a story.
Yes.
So I'm going to ask you to go ahead and share your story and tell a little bit about your history and then how you became to where you are now to help.
Oh, okay. Yeah, well, story is long, so I don't want to take it too long. But it starts out, I grew up in Queens, New York, and from there I went to Long Island, Westbury, Long Island, and I had my first child at the age of 14, almost turning 15. So I always, being shameful, I always say 15, but really, actually, I had my baby at 14, and from there I lost my father at a very young age when I was a daddy's girl. And I went on to lose who I was because I wanted to make up for messing up having a baby so young, and I'm very emotional, and I don't want to cry.
That's all right. But you know what? But that's okay. And the reason I'm going to tell this is because I also have Unheard Voices is also on the radio, and a lot of times majority of the times I want to cover topics that are, not just surface, because people need to understand that we're human. Yes. And because we're human and the things that we've experienced, it creates a platform that is going to be able to help others. So, and I get your tears because I've done those before. So please don't be ashamed of them.
Okay.
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 All right.
So it moved forward from losing my dad and actually losing my mom too, because my mom never really appreciated her relationship with my dad, I don't think, until losing him. And after losing him, she realized that was her life, and she didn't feel like she could do life without him. So I went from being a teenager to trying to overcome, showing that, I don't know what I was thinking at that time, but I guess I was in a relationship that I didn't know what a relationship was. I was just building who I was, and the guy that is my daughter's father, I continued to stay with him, and after losing my father, he became abusive, and I never seen abuse in my life because my parents didn't have that, but that first punch in the face should have been enough, but I kept it on, and I believe now that I look back at my life, I believe I kept it on because I wanted to prove a point that if him and I could have stayed together and got married, at least my daughter wouldn't have been made in vain, because I wasn't that type of person. I just made a mistake. That first time I had sex, I got pregnant.
But a lot of young people, it happens. And what I know is that number one, don't be ashamed of it.
Yeah.
Because out of
shame,
that,
that's at that point, that's what took over my life.
Right.
Shame. And as I grow now and I'm into health and wellness, what I want to teach young people is be mindful of your choices, because choices are everything, and we make choices just out of not even thinking. We just do it, and we have to start and I get into Shanasia and on Shanasia, and as now we develop a relationship, we're moving from mother-daughter to friends now, and choices mean a lot. Your health comes from inside out.
Right.
You know what I mean? As we used to know it the other way around.
Right.
Right.
And
that's how I grew up knowing it. You know what I mean? This facade you put on, that's not who you are.
No.
That's not who I wasn't. And today at 54 years old, I'm cleaning from the inside out. I'm that 14-year-old girl that didn't know who she was. So I used to dress up. I went into, after I was very smart, so I went from school. I graduated from high school on time, I had a very supportive mom that took care of my daughter. And I went on to go to college.
And you graduated yesterday.
Yeah, and I graduated years ago as business administration at Nassau Community College in Long Island. And my mom, because of abusive relationships, she sold her home and everything, and we moved to Maryland area because my sister lived here in Fort Washington.
So your mother was also in an abusive relationship?
No, my mother wasn't.
Okay.
My father was excellent dad.
Okay.
He just died young. My
okay.
father died of a massive heart attack at 54 years old.
Sorry to hear that.
And they had children older, my brother and I. I have an older sister that they had when they were younger. My sister's 15 years older than me, and she lived in this area. So my mom wanted to get closer to her daughter, who she was close to, and after losing my dad and my brother, he went into drugs, and I was in this abusive relationship, so my mom moved south here to Maryland.
Right.
And that's how we landed here in Maryland. And from that point on, I just got into, my next step was I wanted to be this flashy, dress up and cover up. And now at this time, I had two kids. My my sister, my cousin, which was my sister, my mom raised, she left her daughter with my mom, and I had my daughter, who was, when I moved to this area, was 6 years old, and I had my niece, and she was 4 years old. So I had 2 daughters, and I took her on as my daughter. So now I'm a mother with 2 daughters. It's my mom, me, and my 2 daughters. And my mom was so supportive. I call her my best friend, my baby father, my husband, my Confederate. She was my everything. And I still mourn her. She's been gone almost 10, next year will be 10 years. And it's like yesterday.
Right.
But
and it's very hard. You know, teenage pregnancy has been around for such a long time, and you know, as of 2015, over 200,000 babies were born to women between the ages of 15 and 19 years old, and that rate goes up at least 8% each year. From the stats. So it's something that is out there. It's been around for a while, but I mean, it happens. And what Ellen Foundation and with you 2 ladies, we want to make sure that even though you're in this situation, it happens. And we want to provide that platform that is going to create, to give you that self-worth. That's going to help you to grow into that woman and not have to deal with, you know, the hurt and the pain and the shame 30 and 40 years
and the
later.
Regrets.
And the regrets.
Because that's what, and that's a big phenomenon. Oh, no regrets, live life, no regrets. That's sad, but it's very hard to live.
It is. So,
and unless you pretend, you know what I mean? Those regrets are not controllable by you.
Right.
They come.
Yeah.
You know, as you drive even driving through this area, coming, because this is the first area where I came, Fort Washington type area.
Oh, really? Here?
Yeah, when I first
George's?
came to Maryland, yes. My sister lived here in Fort Washington, and my mom, we lived in Oxon Hill for the first year and everything. So, anyway,
but it's all good. It's all good. And you have one of your beautiful daughters here.
Yes.
I'm the youngest.
You're the youngest.
That's the youngest, yes.
So I am so proud of this one. Now, Naz she's known my daughter. How long have you known Mercedes?
So I'm 24, probably about 10 years now. Probably like since I was like 14, 15.
Right, right. And I know that you guys are just...
Yeah, we've always kept in touch, like throughout the years, like even with her going away through college. Social media is actually really great because you get to keep up with people's lives, and I see all the positive stuff that she's doing. She's, went to school. She went to St. John's. I actually went to school in New York my first year of college, and then she went on to get her master's from Columbia. So I'm just admiring her, and she's teaching overseas. Aww. So we have a lot of things in common that keep us, communicating and in contact, which is a beautiful thing.
So she put me in touch, my daughter put me in touch with Naz because we have a phenomenal event that's coming up, which is, it's June 2nd. It's the STEM Youth Empowerment Conference. And actually, I've stepped away, and Mercedes is actually going to be the lead person to take over this. And Ms. Naz is actually going to be speaking at 2 events. And I know the first one that she's going to speak to is going to be the Youth Empowerment Conference. So we're going to take this call really quick. I'm going to check and see. Welcome.
Hello?
Is this Mercedes?
Hello?
Hi.
Hello?
Mercedes, can you hear?
A little bit. Hold on.
Come off a speakerphone.
I can't really hear you that well. I mean, I can't put my phone to the ear. I'm in the car.
Okay. So I'm glad you called in.
I can't hear you. You sound far.
Okay, why don't you? We need you on your earphone.
No, I have the phone to my ear, but you sound far.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know.
Anyway, I was just calling to wish you a really awesome show and a happy Mother's Day, and I'll see you in a little bit.
I love you, Munch. Thanks for calling in.
I love you.
Hey, Sadie. Safe travels.
Hi.
I love you.
Okay, bye, y'all.
Bye.
Have fun.
Speaking of, so I'm glad Mercedes chose you to be a part of the Youth Empowerment Conference because of where you've come from, how you've grown, and how much you can share based on, you know, what you've experienced. So I'm going to let you speak to what you do, and I know we talked a little bit, but I want you to share it here with everyone.
Sure, no problem. So, hi everyone, I'm Naz Milan. I'm a beauty and wellness educator. I'm currently a bachelor's degree candidate at the Robert H. Smith School of Business, so I'm getting my bachelor's in management entrepreneurship. And I'm just extremely passionate about helping people become the best versions of themselves in every realm. So whether that's spiritually, mentally, emotionally, relationally, financially, I think that all of us are trying to achieve a well-balanced life, but it's hard because of life's demands and dysfunctions get in the way of that alignment.
Right.
And so through accountability and through relationships, intentional living, I feel like we'll be able to align with the best versions of ourselves. So that's my mission. I have two things that I'm focused on right now. One is a self-care series. So it's actually a series of self-care events that is tailored to bringing that networking and that educational piece to people who are looking to surround themselves with other like-minded individuals who are, you know, intentional about the way they live. And then my next initiative that I'm starting is actually a consulting firm. So it's a boutique consulting firm that specializes in accelerating women and minority-owned startup companies.
I love it.
And particularly women and minority startup companies is essentially because I go to a predominantly white institution. And so just like through my experience, I realized that we're underrepresented in areas where we actually are thriving. And so black women are the fastest growing sector of entrepreneurship, but they're underrepresented in business. Great thing we have the internet, because the internet is actually a really powerful tool, and it has transformed the lives and businesses of a lot of young women of color who are just really launching their brands. But I think there's something about that connection piece, that word of mouth, that in-person relationship that we often oversee, especially because everything is, we're living in a digital economy, a digital world. Right. So with the self-care series, I want to bring that element back. So when I had my first event, so I had a platform, 5 women who are experts in the beauty and wellness industry, and they all have businesses or brands that, you know, specialize in that. And then all the vendors that was there, I had about 13, 14 vendors at the event. All of their products and services facilitate self-care in some way or another. So that's really what I'm just expanding my outreach. And then I'm extremely passionate about youth, just because I grew up an angry child, and just with my whole family dynamics. But my mom got me counseling at a very young age, at 12.
And you know, that's important because a lot of times people of color find that very, like, that's a big no-no. Like, if you need help,
hush hush.
Yeah, you know,
that's how it is. That's how I grew up.
Right,
you know?
because what goes on in the house that stays in the house, a lot of time people don't get healed. So it's great when people can get out and get the help that's needed, so they can in turn grow. So that's very important. And actually, you know, Mercedes went through some things, and we decided to get her some help as well, because a lot of times as parents, we can only see as parents. So we should not be ashamed to bring in someone that's not in the parent or family mode.
Yeah, or somebody who's neutral.
Yeah, we need that neutral person because there's always two sides to every story, and then there's the truth. You know, like you have your version of the truth, and I have my version of the truth, but a neutral person will find that common ground and then allow to build and to move forward. So I'm glad you were able to get that.
Thank you very much. Yes. So she got me counseling when I was 12 years old, and I actually just finished, I would say 2016, just because I transferred to the Smith School and my schedule is demanding. Honestly and truly, if I had time for it, I would still do it because I think it's beneficial, and it has definitely transformed my life and just my overall growth, and just having that mentorship, that counselor, somebody who was neutral, someone who could understand me. She helped me realize that I had a choice, right?
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of times we're in these situations and we don't understand that we have choices. Like, yes, our reality is our reality, but perception is also reality.
Absolutely.
So if you can learn how to not live inside your mind,
Mm-hmm.
but to live in a way that you know that you can create your reality just by your emotions and the way you see things,
Mm-hmm.
The quality of your life will be changed. Like, circumstances will still be the same, but you'll overcome it,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and you'll get through it. So just having that peace has really helped me grow. So I also want to extend that back to the youth, because I felt like had I not had that, I don't know where I would be. So I want to be that for, especially since the STEM and STEAM Youth Conference is, focused towards underrepresented communities. I think that is super important for me to also let them know that I've once been in your shoes. I've struggled in school. I mean, I'm always been a scholar.
Yeah.
But there's different STEM and STEAM, science and math and technology. Those are the things that I struggled in school. And so I just want to let them know that they can do it. Being in business school, I'm not a numbers girl, but I did it, right?
And we talked about that.
Mm-hmm.
For me, I struggled also because of the fact that I did not believe that letters and numbers belonged in the same, because how are you going to add like 3 to a beat? That just did not make any sense to me. And there are a lot of students out there that believe that, because how are you going to put this together to come up with a number? It just did not make sense. And back when I was in school, like a little while ago, there weren't a lot of tutors. Like, our teachers were just placed there to, get the job done and make sure that when it came time to the major testing, that our scores were on point so they can get the money that they need. So, and I applaud you. Tina, what was your major?
Health. My master's is healthcare informatics.
Okay.
Yes, and before that it was healthcare management, and then before that health information management. But my specialty is in health information management, and as I grow, I'm moving forward to going into the informatics, data analytics version.
Still numbers. I mean, there's nothing you can't do, and numbers and arts, because it all ties back together.
It's definitely numbers, but it's software.
That
technology. Got the technology.
Yep.
You have to put those numbers in.
You got to put those numbers in
to make healthcare financially better, and continuity of care to me means more than anything. But without the resources, we cannot provide continuity of care.
I'm in agreement.
And facilities. Right now, I'm with the Veterans Administration, and that's what I gear towards, taking care of the veterans and making sure they get all the care that they can.
Yeah, we don't want them lost.
Yes,
there's a lot of things
they went out and fought for us, and so that's really phenomenal how God placed me there, because I'm a helper, and my new platform is I want to love the unlovable. So I'm going to create that version of me through that. And I'm going to start a foundation for myself.
That's excellent. You got to keep me posted on this.
Okay.
On there. So now we're going to talk about June 2nd.
Yes.
Yeah.
Let's
June
talk
2nd.
about June 2nd.
We're going to invite. We're really passionate about this. God is just, His hand has just been on this event, where I've always wanted to do the work with the students more so than just having a small mentorship program in there, but because in noticing all the things that are transpiring with our students, I wanted to create a space where everybody can come together. And, young people don't want to see me up there talking, because I look like their mom. So it's going to be that quick turn off, So, and that's why it's important that, people that look like them. Representation, absolutely.
Yes.
And I have been blessed to have a young man. Well, he's not young. He's actually a principal that speaks. He's done a lot of TED Talks. He's done all these things. He created a charter school in New York. upstate, where it works with Black and brown students. And he took all of his resources, turned that school system around, where now the ratio for Black and brown male students has increased, where they are graduating. Yes. And so he reached out, he saw what we were doing, and he wanted to be a part. So Dr. Paul Miller's going to be here for that event. So I'm very excited to hear what he's talking about.
And to meet him. Yeah,
and to meet him. And then we also have DJ 5-Star. I think I shared on our other platform that he's all about STEM and STEAM, because math is, without the math and without, that certain key piece in education, you're not going to graduate. So what he's done, he's taken his turntables.
Yes.
And he's teaching students how to create art and count math by being a DJ. So now you're going to come in and you're going to talk about some wellness stuff.
Yeah, I think a lot of times too, like when you're struggling in school, it really, really beats down like your self-confidence.
Absolutely.
And when you're young, that's where you start to really build your self-confidence. And then I know from my experience, my personal experience, like middle school, like that age 12 to like early 14, or what would I say, 11? It's 11 to 13. You go through like this identity crisis, right? So you're trying to find yourself. You really don't know your hormones, your body's changing.
Everything's just going crazy.
Everything is crazy. And then you're in school. Sometimes you're so focused, especially if you're a social person like I was, you're being drowned out by all the social drama and everything that everybody else has to say about you.
Right.
So it really alters your focus when you're in the classroom. And I just think that a lot of times when you don't have that support, like from your teachers or just the resources that you need to excel, it really dampens your confidence, you know what I mean? And so I think that my thing is I want to help students learn in a way that even if they learn differently from others, that's totally okay.
Right.
You just got to find your learning style, and you have to find what works for you. And if you don't do well, reach out. Sometimes it's harder when you're younger to really reach out and tell people, be transparent. Like, I really don't understand what's going on. I really don't understand.
Right, because that way, once the information shared that you need the help, you'll be able to get the help. So, Tina, I'm going to just bounce over to you. So if someone wants to reach out to you, what's the best way for someone to reach out to you and talk to you about, the domestic violence and how you're now creating your own organ? Yeah. How can
Tina Dupuy, 240-210-5997.
And that's spelled D-U-P-U-Y.
Yes, it's French. Yes, Tina Dupuy. Yes.
Yeah.
And Dupree is fine, which a lot of people call me. That's fine. But, yes, reach out. I'll be there for you.
What's your Facebook?
Facebook is Tina Dupuy, I think. I'm not sure. Just straight Tina Dupuy.
Right.
You'll find me
on
Facebook.
Because
but
I know.
Reach out to me personally by text or phone is better. I'm not really a constant Facebook person or email person, except for my work. But my telephone I have with me at all times by my side. So please reach out.
And Ms. Naz, how are people going to reach you too?
They can reach me on any of my social media. So on Facebook, I'm Naz Milan. That's Nazmilan. And then on Instagram, I'm Naz X Milan, so NazXMilan. And then the same at Gmail, so NazXMilan@gmail.com.
Well, that's great. So I have a question for your mom. Did she tell you she's going to be on stage with Miss Maurette Brown Clark? Did she tell you that?
Tell me that. We have been apart. Sinead is going through the stress life of her senior. You know what I mean? I just walked, but I finished in the fall, so I was already had my master. I just walked, and because of all my stress and tears, I was walking.
I know she was going through so much, and so as mentioned, I also have another media platform. But after speaking with Naz on that platform and just listening and just seeing how she is just very hands-on, not only for the June 2nd event. So Ellen Foundation has a June 16 event, which is our women's conference.
I actually told her about
that. Oh, you did?
Right. She invited me to that.
Right, okay, perfect. So, Miss Marette Brown Clark is going to host it.
Yes.
And we have Latoya Foster. She's very well known. She's actually Mayor Bowser's communication person.
Okay.
We have Ms. Cheryl Wood, who's going to be a part of that. And I'm just honored that these women are going to come together, and we're going to create this. We're going to create something special, not just only on the 16th, but even on the June 2nd event. We're going to have something special.
Well, thanks for inviting me.
Yeah.
I'm really, really looking forward to being part of Change.
Wonderful. I appreciate you ladies coming in. Again, happy Mother's Day.
To you also.
Yeah, thank you. And I love you ladies, and we got some work to do. So, again, just really quick, Tina, let them know how they can contact you again.
Okay, Tina Dupuy, 240-210-5997. And I'm Tina Dupuy on Facebook.
Okay. And Naz, one more time, how can they reach you?
Naz Malans on Facebook, Naz X Milan on Instagram, and NazXMilan@gmail.com.
So I appreciate you ladies. Go enjoy the day.
Okay.
I appreciate you, and I look forward to seeing you both in a couple of weeks.
Yes, you will.
Yeah, definitely. And we got some more work to do.
Yes,
so
we will.
God is just really doing a great thing, and I'm just humbled to be a part of what he's doing in our community. So, family, we want you to join the conversation. Please dial in 240-719-2560. We're going to just take a quick break because I have a second half coming up, and we just want to take I promise this time it's going to be short. So,
okay.
So definitely we'll be back. So thank you so much, ladies. God bless you.
Okay,
God
bless
bless
you.
so much.
Okay, love you too, and thanks for making me a part of.
Absolutely.
I would love to help.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, that was pretty good. I love that. Yeah. I'm
Recommends
excited.
all baby boomers get tested for Hep C. A simple one-time test is all it takes. And if you have Hep C, it can be easy.
I'm looking in the 25 on there. Okay.
Also, if you want,
I want to take a picture.
Okay, really quick, a quick picture, and then what's going to say? That's pretty.
One more. I can show you her daughter. She looks just like her.
EC recommends all baby boomers get...
Welcome back, everybody. Thank you for staying with Unheard Voices. And as you see, we got a new panel here. Happy Mother's Day. Again, I am just so thrilled to be in the presence of these great ladies here, and also from this morning. And those, I want to say congratulations who graduated. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so this segment, we're going to pick up where we left off last time on the last show, where we were talking about this fantastic organization which is now being brought to Prince George's County, and it's the RISE Coalition. And all these women here, these wonderful queens that I will call you, are part of this organization where we are truly about doing the work that God has called us to do. Mm-hmm. So I am going to actually, because I don't want to mess up anybody's name, because I already worked in my head, it's like I'm going to mess up somebody's name. So I'm going to actually have you all introduce yourself. So I'm going to start here to my right.
I'm Anita B. Buffalo with the New Life Advocacy Council.
Well, I'm glad you're here with me.
I'm glad to be here.
Here to my left.
Hi, I'm Chaplain Lisa Buffalo. I'm with NLAC Darmo. I am the Chaplain of Women's Affairs and Special Projects.
Welcome, welcome.
My name is Tamika Douglas. I'm an advocate against domestic violence. I'm with Women with No Limits.
And I'm Tanisha Jackson. I'm a world system builder, and I'm an advocate for financial literacy.
My name is Osita Osabwe, and I am the founder of Violet Glory Outreach Ministries.
Ladies, I am so glad that you've taken time out on Mother's Day to be here to share this time on the show. What I want to do is just really talk about the work that the coalition is doing, what RISE is doing. I know we have different pieces to the organization. I know we have the financial, we have the domestic violence, and then we have NLAC Dharma, which is also another part of the organization. Right. So I'm going to speak from my perspective first, and I'm going to let everybody jump in because from that it's going to be a very important piece. So my organization's Ellen Foundation, where it works with not only low-income families, but we also do a lot of work with survivors of domestic violence. And that seems to have been taking over such a larger piece of the organization because the need is greater. And as I've gone through doing my research is that as these women are preparing to exit and start a new life, we find that the need is great. I do know the financial piece is very important, where people need to be prepared. People need to have a plan. And what's next step? So my Buffalo. So I know you and I talked a little bit yesterday, and so I'm going to ask that you jump in and just kind of talk about, some of the things from your perspective and women who are coming out of this situation and where they need to get the help. So I'm going to let you start the conversation on that piece.
Well, the main thing that I've experienced and observed is them having the ability to look within first, to recognize their self-worth, their future, their existence really depends on how much they can make change from within. They have to know who they are as women. They have to understand that they cannot devalue themselves by their bodies. Their self-worth is important in understanding that they're queens, they're beautiful. Like you say, I used to tell the women in the care house, you all are flowers. And you have to understand flowers need special care.
Absolutely.
If you want them to develop and grow beautifully, you have to do certain things to nurture that plant, that everything about it. It's an organism within organisms. And so that means that you have to know who you are well enough to know you're special to you first.
Right.
And there are things that you must, it's almost imperative, understand that's necessary for you to do for you.
Right. So with that piece, what you mentioned about it's important for that person to know what they need to do. Tanisha, I know you manage a lot on the financial aspect, and that's important because as these women need the help, they need to have a plan in place. Yes. And also, not only just an escape plan, but they also need to have a financial plan because you don't want to escape one situation and then end up in another situation. So would you talk to that a little bit?
So most definitely, Miss Pam, it is super important for not only women, but men also get abused.
Absolutely.
Yes. So on a whole, female and male should understand what's coming in. If they understand their finances, they're able to now structure, like as simple as having an emergency fund. That's a simple case of knowing what's coming in and what's going out. What's going out is why we go to work.
Right.
But some families don't even know what that number is.
Right. How can someone begin to create a plan, so they will understand the importance of knowing what's coming in and going out? What would you say the easiest way for them to create that plan and then build from it?
So you first start with tracking. Right? Because some families, money come in and go out so quickly. So you have to track, well, how is the money coming in at first? Do I get it on weekly, twice a week, or a month? And then you're secured how money comes in. Then how is money going out? Am I a swiper? For myself, I was a swiper. And when I started doing my own tracking, because I used to work at CVS, I saw all these CVS charges, and I'm like, what is it am I buying at CVS? So when you now look back, you can start looking at habits. You start seeing behaviors of spending. And when you start seeing that spending is a habit, we now can change it where saving becomes a habit. Because when I started seeing, a lot of spending is coming out of CVS, it's because I was snacking a lot. So after you identify the issue, then I was able to start bringing snacks from home. And that allowed me to save a simple $10 a day. And if at $10 a day, when you times it by 30 days in the month,
that's a lot of money.
That's $300 in savings.
Yeah, a couple of bills. Yeah, that's a lot of money. So, Pastor Osita, now I know for you, was it Violet Ministries?
Yeah, Violet Glory, yes.
Okay, and your work is very hands-on, more with the shelters.
Yes.
And you are in the streets.
Yes.
So when you are working in the shelter and things like that, are you finding more women that are out there, or you're seeing an abundance of men that are now looking for help?
Well, I'm at the shelter on 2nd and D, so I see both. What I'm seeing at the shelter is that the women tend to isolate themselves. They're on one floor. So when you're homeless, they deal with things like property being stolen, what they call the street sweep. So when the tourists come to Georgetown in the summer, they make them move because they don't want the tourists seeing them.
I didn't know that.
Yes. So what the women deal with, in addition to the street sweeping and having to carry all your clothes and winter clothes on your back in the summer, is, am I going to be raped? Am I going to be touched? So I think that's why in the shelter they tend to stay on their floor and not really integrate too much with the men. That's what I'm finding when I go to the shelter. So.
Are they primarily survivors or just those who just couldn't manage their finances correctly?
It's a whole range of reasons. Sometimes it's alcohol and drug abuse. Sometimes it could be bad decisions. Some people work, but they don't make enough to live on their own. So there are people in the shelter who go to work every day, but they just don't make enough to have the security deposit to put down, and that could be a part of saving too. For within the state of Maryland, out of the whole homeless population, 10% come from survivors of domestic violence. So that's, and what I do when I try to minister is to encourage them so they don't go from one bad situation to another.
Wow. I know when I moved here from Connecticut, because that's where I'm from, and I became a single parent when I moved here, I was making decent money as a single parent, but because of how things are in Maryland it was very hard for me to make ends meet, because at the time when we moved here, my daughter was young. And, daycare, before school, I was just like, I'm in the wrong business, because I was paying, majority of my check went to daycare.
Yes.
And then when I went to the state, to social services, they told me
you made
too much money.
$20 too much.
Yeah, $1 too much sometimes.
And that was a hard piece, but because I stayed the course and I didn't give up, I cried out a lot to God.
Amen.
You didn't bring me here to make me fail. There's a purpose. There's a purpose, and so I'm glad I didn't give up, because I wouldn't be sitting here with you ladies.
Yes.
Absolutely. So, Tamika, I know you just had an amazing event. What was it, last weekend?
Last weekend, last Saturday.
And I was very excited to be a part of that, where I know you work a lot with survivors of domestic violence. And you know what, you had me in chat full last weekend. When you got up there, my mouth was just like, this ain't the same lady that I know. So God bless you on allowing him to use you as a vessel to move forward. So, and I know with your ministry, you're very hands-on with survivors as well, because you do have a story.
I do have a story.
Yeah. So first, let's talk really quick about your ministry and what you're doing with these women.
Okay, I am a survivor of domestic violence, and I've been in mental and the sexual and the physical abuse through mostly my whole life, 90% of my life. I'm 42 years old, and I was trying to tell the young ladies, I've been in a prison within my own self for 37 years. And I asked God, I said, God, how did I get in this prison? I'm thinking that, it was first when I first got sexual assaulted at 7 years old. But when I started writing my book a couple of months ago, God said, no, you've been in a prison within your own self at 5. And I was like, 5? And I forgot that I had got sexual assaulted at 5 years old when I was in the kindergarten. So the domestic violence for me and sexual assault and not human traffic, but I deal with human traffic too with other women because they do go through domestic violence first. But I've been dealing with these things for years, and just like I'm sorry, what was your name?
Mother
Buffalo. Just like she was saying, I had to go deep within myself and start loving me first. For years, I didn't love myself at all. I looked at a mirror every day. I mean, people was telling me, Tamika, you this and you that. I didn't see nothing these people was saying. I thought they was crazy. But at some point, I had to go deep within myself, and I prayed every day. I fast every day. And I said, God, I'm tired of going through the suffering within myself, and I'm running from all these different people, but I was trying to run actually from me. And within me, I was so mentally and spiritually abused by the things that was surrounding me. And I was going to church every day, just like me and this young lady was talking in the lobby. I was going through mental abuse within my church. And these are the places supposed to be your safe haven. These are the places that you're supposed to go to. And it was with my stepfather that mentally and physically abused me and my sister and my brother and my mother. So at this point, I didn't know where to run to. And then my mother, she used to say, well, whatever goes on in my household stays in my house. So the old school used to put things under the rug instead of dealing with it, because a lot of them, had men that was providing for them, and they didn't have no way out. They didn't have the financial information, the resources that they need to get out out different situations. So I was one of the ones that was bound in a relationship where the guy that I was dealing with, he made more money than me. So I said, oh God, I didn't know that I was really staying because he helped me pay for my bills, and I had my 2 little children. I was like, oh my God, I'm tired of going through this. I said, God, I know you're going to be able to provide for me. And sometimes you have to be able to fight within yourself and say, enough is enough.
Right.
And that's what I had to do for me. I said, Tamika, I know you love yourself. Stop putting yourself on the back burner, because I was putting her on the back burner for everybody because I didn't want to deal with my issues at hand.
Right.
And I ran for everybody because I'd rather do that than deal with what's in front of me, what was dealing with in my household within myself.
And that goes back to what my Buffalo was saying in the beginning. It's all about dealing with you and coming to terms with you, because if you do not understand here, you're not going to be able to become healed. No. Nothing else works. Right. Nothing else works. And Miss Lisa, so Lisa, I am just honored how God has placed you and Chap in my life, because you kind of keep me in check.
After 32 years, I've kind of figured out how to do it.
And you make sure, and I love our conversations because they're real. And we are very hands-on in the community. Yes. And I know that you are one of the chaplains that oversee a lot of the women in that area with I don't know.
NLAC.
There you go. See, I knew I wasn't going to get it all right, so I had to apologize in advance. That's why I would do.
No, we learned a long time ago. Mabi and I would use, when we had the transitional homes, we would have women's sessions once or twice a week, and we learned a long time ago we had to be as transparent, because you're not going to believe me and you're not going to trust me if I can't prove to you, been there, done that.
Right.
Or I've been through this, I may be a chaplain, but I've been through this, and this, so I understand your plight. And when you get to the point where they see the real me, I'm sitting here, but I went through it 13 years ago, or I went through it 20 years ago, or I was, thank God I was almost gang raped, but a car drove up and they ran. So all that, I can't say I was raped, but I can say I know that fear. But if I'm transparent with you as a woman, even though I'm a ministry that you've come to, then we can get them to understand.
Right.
But look at where you are. Yeah, look at me. You can get there.
Yes.
But you've got to trust yourself. Because I'm like you. I didn't think I've been big all my life. I didn't think I was worth anything. My husband is my first boyfriend. My husband's my first love. So, I get to the point where I had to prove to them it's there through Christ for everyone.
Absolutely.
Yes, it is. And when you can get them to see the true us as women, and the group of women who believe what we say, then they start, okay, well, what about this? Let's talk about that. Let's bring that out in the front. We don't play games with it. And if you think you're going to play games, don't get in front of my beat.
I know.
Because
we had that nice conversation yesterday, but I love it, though.
But we do a lot of praying. We do, you can't walk into this stuff blind. You've got to walk into it. Okay, Father, use me.
And that's the important piece, because God has called each and every one of us. He has given us all gifts.
Yes.
He has given us all, a vision, and not. What I found in this is that we can't share all of our vision with everybody.
That's
right.
True.
Because it's not for because not everybody's going to understand what God has given to you.
Right.
Yes. That's the very important piece. But I love the fact that He has taken, for me, and it sounds like with you ladies, is that He's taken parts of my life which weren't pretty. Exactly. And He's He's taken that, shaped it, and allowed me to now raise that banner of that not pretty life, and then reach back to others and let them know it's going to be all right.
God did it for me, so He'll do it for you.
Absolutely. Yeah. And that's what I appreciate about what God is doing here and how He's brought the Women of the Rise Coalition together, because it's very important that our family know, and when I say the family that listens to us and also that views us on air, that they understand that they have help.
Yes.
You know, that they don't have to do this alone. Right. So I'm going to ask everybody to share how people can get in touch. Lisa, I'm going to start with you. How can, if someone wants to reach out and talk more with you about what you've been through or how to help them, what's the best way for them to reach out to you?
They can email me, and I can reach out to them. My email address is LISA_NLAC1@Comcast.net. And you do that, I'll respond to you, I'll give you all my contact information, and I'm open.
Okay.
I'm open to talk with anybody about anything, and if you have any needs and stuff, if I don't have the answers, the other women in Rise or the other members of the Rise Coalition, God's put all the pieces here.
Absolutely.
So if I haven't got it, I can't answer that, but let me get you in touch with Sister Pam, because I know she handles that part. We all have a piece of the puzzle that makes it a whole.
And it all makes it a whole.
Yes, ma'am.
Tamika, how can somebody get in touch with you?
They can email me at d.tyshia@yahoo.com.
Instagram. Do you have Instagram, Facebook?
I have Instagram. It's Douglas with one S .Tamika Tomika.
Okay, great.
And that's Instagram, or they can hit me on Facebook, which is my first name, Tamika Douglas.
Okay, fantastic. Tanisha, I was getting ready to say Tamika because I'm thinking of just putting the thing together. How can someone get in touch with you? Because that financial piece is a very important tool, not only just in domestic violence, but just in everyday life.
Yeah.
And that's important that people understand how to manage their money. How can somebody get in touch with you?
So families or individuals can get in touch with me by going to howmoneyworks.com/Tanisha. That's TANEISHA Jackson without a K, JACSON. And we're able to do group sessions, we're able to do individual sessions, and we have complementary workshops as well, where they can come in as a group or as an individual and be educated.
Do you have a workshop coming up soon?
Yes, we have workshops Tuesday at 7 p.m. and Saturday at 10. And we're going to be having a special session on Sundays at 2, because we're getting ready as a family to go away to San Jose, because families never take trips or vacations together.
Right.
And this is a trip that is a tax deduction for the family. So we deal with things coming in and going out, but the important thing about money going out is now a tax deduction when families start owning and being their own money manager.
Okay. Sita, how can somebody get in touch with you?
The email, it's a ministry, Violet, like the color, VIOLET, Glory, GLORY, 96@outlook.com. I'm also on Facebook with that ministry name. I also wanted to add, we also do leadership workshops, because what God has shown me is that I'm supposed to show people their destiny. Organizations and businesses have a vision and mission, but you're supposed to have your own. So we're starting back doing workshops the first Saturday at 11 a.m. So if anybody would like to attend, then you can email me, violetglory96@outlook.com.
Tamika, I forgot to ask, do you have anything coming up?
Tomorrow I'll be giving out groceries at Oxon Hill Library from 10 to 12 tomorrow at Oxon Hill Library.
Okay. How about you, Lisa?
We're working with Rise right now, so there's a lot of small things that are in works. Chap, do we have something that I'm missing?
District 7 debate.
Oh, yes. On May 22nd at the Shops at Iverson, they're going to be doing a debate. District 7, people can come out. They'll be able to ask questions. We're also going to be giving out produce and stuff to people who just need it. Just come.
Okay.
And it's from 7 to 9 Tuesday evening on the 22nd.
And I ahead. One more thing. Starting this Thursday, I will be on social media. It's going to be called the Break of Dawn Prayer for domestic violence, women, human traffic, sexual abuse, and I will be getting up 3 o'clock in the morning every Thursday until God tells me to stop.
That's great.
Yeah.
About Buffalo?
Well, I will have to defer to the New Life Advocacy Council under Chap T. He adds the Darmo part because, as I told you, I'm relocating.
Right.
But he's setting up for me a way, we have done it before, that I'm available anytime anyone needs help based on what my daughter-in-law, Chap Lisa, and my son set up for me. And they can get me involved in conferencing by phone. I'm available. And we're going to be working on some things in the future where if the topic and the need is hot enough, Mother will get on a train and hop up here.
Be there.
Yes, she will.
I am honored to be in the presence of such great queens, not only on this segment, but even, and I'm so glad that Tina and Nas stayed around for this second session. So thank you so much. You ladies are powerful. I'm very excited that we're all together in this. And I'm just going to jump back to Miss Tamika here because she duped us over last weekend, and I was taken by her. She is also my last speaker at the Women's Conference. Again, that's on June 16th. And as mentioned, Marette Brown Clark is going to host it. We have LaToya Foster and Cheryl Wood, along with Miss Naz Milan. I'm actually going to speak, and usually I don't, I just come out and say hi, but Lord has just pressed in my heart to come out and share some things. And again, for either the June 2nd event or the June 16th event, family, go to my website, which is www.thelmfoundation.org. Take a look at what we're doing in the community. Please reach out to these dynamic ladies, and if you have a need, I appreciate you guys. Again, happy Mother's Day. I love you ladies. God bless you all. And we'll catch you on June 2nd, actually, because our next show, I know our next show is the second Sunday here back at Vox Wave. Again, always continue to watch what not just only Unheard Voices, but Vox Wave has a host of numerous shows. So please tune in, voxwave.com, and always join the conversation at 240-719-2560. God bless you. Have a great weekend.
Thanks.
Thank you. Happy Mother's Day to you.
Yeah.